Back on June 9th of this year, I posted a video of Yasir Qadhi describing problems with the preservation of the Quran. It was just a short sequence of clips where I focused on Qadhi's statements about Western versus Eastern scholars, the holes in the traditional narrative, and ahruf and qira'at. While meditating in a cave, I had a special revelation from Jibril, where he revealed to me that Qadhi's extremely incoherent and unintelligible statements would raise questions from Muslims. So I posted the video to assist spreading Qadhi's words to the Muslim world. Since then, much attention has been drawn to Qadhi's statements, and it's largely been a process of just sitting back and watching the chaos ensue. However, efforts have been made, predictably, by Muslims to conceal the controversy like they conceal everything else that they find inconvenient about their religion. Muhammad Hijab edited the most controversial parts of Yasir Qadhi's statements, thus sanitizing the video for his channel. Now, for Qadhi's part, he did post the entire video on his channel, but received many negative comments, so comments were disabled. Now, of course, the entire video that was on Qadhi's channel has been removed. I know this because I not only downloaded the entire video, but also saved the link itself. And the drama continues. But first, here's some background. I'll put several links in the pinned comment for you, so I won't go over them in detail. But in those links, you'll find, among other things, a series of conversations that show in 2016, Fareed leaked a confidential series of emails with some controversial statements made by Yasir Qadhi. These leaked emails eventually made it to someone who had a problem with Yasir Qadhi and made those emails public. The emails are a discussion between Fareed and Ismail Ibrahim. Ibrahim ran the secretive discussion group from which Fareed, the popular Muslim apologist, leaked Yasir Qadhi's doubts about preservation of the Quran back in 2016. At times, there's quite a fiery exchange between Fareed and Ibrahim, and several interesting admissions, including this one. It is needless to say that this error in judgment led to this fiasco in which laymen are exposed to this great danger. Later, Ibrahim went on to suggest Fareed may be Satan in human form, and according to a recent post by Ibrahim, Muslims are apostatizing as a result of the flare-up on the Qira'at issue of late. And the public attacks and criticisms of Yasir Qadhi continue. Here are some of the comments that I've been receiving in my videos recently. It looks like Islamophobes and critics of Islam have found someone that they can finally rely on. Thank you, Yasir Qadhi. Yasir Qadhi claims that the reason he is planning to spread his views is due to pressure from Orientalists. So far, he's only been fueling them. The arrow has left the bow, Yasir Qadhi. Thanks for making Muslims' lives a little more harder than they already were. No matter what you say now, it is evident that your poor choice of words have caused confusion. As a scholar of knowledge, you should know this heavy topic shouldn't be discussed in public. Unnecessary controversy has been created because of that. It is not becoming of a scholar to have poor choice of words so often about such crucial and complex topics. You're out of your depth. At this point, there are two factors I would like to comment on. One of these, to be honest, is the colossal stupidity of the way some Muslims are handling these issues. In Muslim culture and religion, they've been trained to destroy evidence or suppress embarrassing problems. Got Qurans you don't like? If you're Uthman, burn them. If you're Al-Hajjaj, scrape the text off of the manuscript with the bone of a pig and then lament that you couldn't kill the person who wrote it. If you're the Egyptian government back in the 1920s, then just dump the variant Qurans in the Nile River. Modern Muslims got a prophet who recited satanic verses according to the consensus of the early Muslims and attested to in about 50 early reports. Just deny it and deny it again and keep on denying it and get more people to deny it until the embarrassment is suppressed. The same thing with many hadith that Muslims don't like, such as the ones that talk about Muhammad sleeping with a 9-year-old girl. That's how Muslims handle problems. But Muslims, today there's this thing called the internet, and editing or deleting videos after the fact is not nearly as effective at suppressing information as Uthman when he burned his bad Qurans. With the internet, your tried and true tactics of suppression have the opposite effect. The information spreads anyway, and it makes you look weak, insincere, and dishonest in the process. The fact that someone has to tell you this doesn't say much for your general awareness or ability to adapt to the modern world. Second, Qadhi's statements are so problematic in part because Islam is primarily an authoritarian religion. Just believe what your authorities say. As for the basic obligation of Islam and what relates to tenets of faith, it is adequate for one to believe in everything brought by the Messenger of Allah and to credit it with absolute conviction, free of any doubt. Whoever does this is not obliged to learn the evidences of scholastic theologians. Rather, what befits the common people and vast majority of those learning or possessing sacred knowledge is to refrain from discussing the subtleties of scholastic theology, lest corruption difficult to eliminate find its way into their basic religious convictions. Rather, it is fitter for them to confine themselves to contentment with the above-mentioned absolute certainty. So when Muslim authorities claim that the Quran is perfectly preserved and then later say it's not, this turns the authoritarian system upside down, because now some authorities appear to be saying something that contradicts orthodoxy instead of promoting it. Muslims, if you have authorities who have spent decades lying to you about something as important as the Quran, only to send shockwaves through the Muslim world by later admitting that the traditional narrative that they've been promoting isn't actually supported by the data, I suggest you find a new authority. Let's call that authority evidence. If these last couple of months have proved anything, it's that there are many Muslim authorities reaching out to popular level Muslims who cannot be trusted. It is now time for Muslims to move on from their authoritarian structure and look at the evidence for themselves. These videos and the sources cited therein are some good places to start.